Good morning to you, and good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers, if any.
I hope you're well.
I'm doing very well, yes. Over here with the Hamatan in Tamale.
I can imagine.
Yes, not easy, very hot, with lights off on and now and then, every 2 hours.
Oh, okay. The power outages are affecting Tamale too very badly.
Yes, and spoiling our medical equipment.
Damaging our medical equipment?
Sure, yes. We want the government to know. Yes, just lost one of my fridges for my laboratory that I have to replace with several thousands of dollars.
Wow.
I think it's not good. Even with protectors and all power surges, protectors, it's not doing anything. The rampant nature in which they switch it off and on and off, high and low, is causing a lot of stress on it. I think we may have to ask for some compensation and then maybe some tax relief to survive.
How constant has that been, the power outages?
It's horrible. That is how I term it. The generators now are not even angry the way we put them on and off. Spending a lot of money on generators to make sure the power is stable. What is more painful is that it will come at a low current that cannot push anything. Then you have to put the generator on. And if you don't hurry up, then it blows an equipment. So virtually, you are on generator if you want to save your medical equipment, which we don't manufacture in Ghana. We have to import. And that importation is hard currency. And hard currency means devaluation of the cedi. And we go around the same spiral, like Baumia likes to use, the same spiral phenomenon of weakening the cedi by importing more. So give us stable current. Let's treat people. Let's run our businesses. And we can make money and to stay in Ghana. Because that fridge, I have to buy it abroad. We don't manufacture it here. And when it comes, the worst is that they will hit a lot of taxes on it. And you have to pay for it to the government. Whilst hotels are giving tax relief as one district, one factory. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. And I know most health facilities are suffering like I'm doing. And we pray they are able to stabilize the power crisis to save us.
So for you now, the most reliable source of power is if you're using a generator.
Exactly. If I'm not on generator, it means I'll have to give out one equipment. So if they put it on, we have to wait to see to it that we have a device. To see to it that it's stable for about 15 minutes before we put the generator up and switch it to ETG.
I see.
It's not good at all. The government must look at the power sector very well.
Great.
Yeah. I think investing in the power sector to keep power stable, energy stable for Ghanaians will save Ghanaians a lot of money. If this PDS hadn't come to disrupt proper investment in the health sector, I think by now we would have had proper transmission lines with good transformers to keep our power stable, because over the generating power, we have it. We have that capacity. Because the former president provided enough and access to export. It was just left with the transmission lines to be worked on. But PDS came to take it away. So I think we need to really look at the transmission lines and then keep our power stable. That will save us money.
I see. Well, Doc, let's move on to the issue of the death of the late Deputy Finance Minister. Now, I'm sure you've been monitoring the commentary from the people who said on Wuntumi TV that he was poisoned, to what was said by Captain Smart a bit earlier, then to what the widow is saying. First of all, sitting and listening to everybody, what do you think?
In fact, let me first of all express my condolences to the wife, the kids, and the entire family for his demise. And then we hope that the Lord Almighty would accept him in his bosom, forgive him his sins, all what he committed on earth. I would say I've listened to a lot of comments, But once I'm not a forensic specialist, I wouldn't like to delve much into accusations of what Captain Smart have said. It is said that those who are close are those who are talking. So it is up to government to invite those who have made allegations to come and prove their statements and what they are saying. Just like I think we have one ambassador on autopsy in Ghana. He can help. Maybe present it to the president to perhaps investigate into the cause of the death. But what I'm worried about is the widow's comments on radio, on the news. I think that he should be mourning and be calm, and then let at least his husband find a restful place. Then if he has anything he wants to come and rebut, then he can do it. She made some statements that as a doctor, I'm beginning to wonder whether it is right for him to make that statement, knowing very well how that disease the man died of behaves. In the statement, he said the man died of multiple myeloma, and that he suffered a hip dislocation and then a fracture of the clavicle. Yes, that disease can lead you to that. But I sometimes have doctors in Germany, instead of treating this man with this end-stage disease of this nature, would allow the man to request for discharge against doctor's advice to come home to Ghana to celebrate Independence Day. It shocks me, because if you get to that stage he's talking of, it means you are basically becoming incapacitated and would not be able to function very well. A fracture of the clavicle is that bone they used to call Rollins collarbone, the Rollins bone. When you are very lean, you see those two bones on top of your chest that is eminent or prominent. If that bone is fractured, your respiratory system can be compromised. Important blood vessels going to your brain will be compromised. So it will be difficult for a doctor to say, go back and do your job. If you set up a medical board, such a person will be given a very long, extended holiday to treat himself. Besides, if you have a hip fracture, a dislocation, walking is going to be difficult for you. You must be able to walk, or you must be on a wheelchair. But this is a man who was walking about. This is what may cause people to really think otherwise of the diagnosis. I'm not disputing it. But if actually he had these complications of this disease, this man and his party should have asked him, if it is me, I'll even resign from parliament and take care of my life. Because it shows how serious my sickness is. Again, this disease, when it gets you, your life expectancy generally is about 5 years. So you should be more worried about your own life than going around from region to region in Ghana in campaigning. So it gives a little bit of doubt about the same statement of the woman that the man died of this. When we know that disease cannot just kill you abruptly like that. It doesn't kill so promptly, like an emergency death. It just gets you and immediately you are dying. No. It reaches you slowly, and you must be aware of this. Sometimes you even need a clinical psychologist to work on you, to train you, to educate you, to know how to relinquish some of your activities and the rest. But we never saw that in this gentleman. So I think the woman should rather focus in getting the husband buried, other than spewing some of these things out. That may make clinicians doubt the cause of death that she is saying, because we never saw this man, or we never heard of, though it is a private thing, he can keep his disease. But keeping this disease would not, with these complications, would not be possible, because people will realize you are incapable of performing certain duties, like an MP, like going for a campaign for people, like traveling to Tamale, like asking for a discharge from the hospital, that is treating a hip dislocation and a clavicular fracture. It doesn't conform with the medical position the woman is making us to believe. That is where my problem is.
So from everything you've heard so far,
I'm a physician, and I don't like people exposing their medical record to people, but the woman has brought it out. And me as a person and as a physician, doubt the diagnosis is putting across, especially the complication that he has had from the disease.
For the purposes of education, the disease that has been mentioned, if you have it, what are some of the signs, and how come you say it will be difficult to even discharge anybody who has that disease?
It is not that disease. It will be difficult to be discharged with the complications that he had.
Okay.
They mentioned the sharp dislocation. It means that the hip, the thigh bone has removed from the hip joint, and the bone on top of the chest is fractured. That is where it will be difficult. But if you have myeloma, yes, you can walk about, because some of the symptoms can be benign at the beginning, because the disease has stages. And there are 3 stages, 1 to 3. 3 shows that the disease is growing very fast. And there are levels of risk, which tells us the gravity it has on the life of the person. So if they are telling us there's a hip fracture and a dislocation, and there is a clavicular fracture, it means that he has gotten to virtually stage 3 of the disease. And you have gotten to a level which is very high in the risk. Such a person, no doctor, you can call hematologist and cancer specialist in the Kolebu teaching hospital and ask whether such a person, they will release him to go home to celebrate independence. No. But if you have the beginning, the disease at its initial stage, it will give you symptoms like nausea, desire to vomit, constipation, loss of appetite, mental fogging and confusion. You can have some infection coming in because your defense system is low, so you get frequent infection. You can have a weight loss. You can have what we call weakness in your body because your blood cells are not working very well. You can have problem with urination. You can have anemia. You get pale and the rest. With all this, yes, you can move about with some little support. But when it gets to what the woman has told us in a submission, where the bone has grown so big that the hair of the tumor cannot fit into the pelvic and it has to dislocate, it shows that you have gotten to a very bad stage. So, and I can't imagine somebody at that stage actively moving about, even asking for a request to come home to celebrate Independence Day. That is where my problem is. She needs to come back again. Unless the man was really so patriotic that he believes that he prefers to come home and celebrate independence and die.
I see. So you doubt what the woman is saying?
Frankly speaking, I doubt it until it is put in my face. The x-rays and all those things put in my face, which I don't expect them to do. But I thought that the woman shouldn't have even come out to make that statement.
What we've heard in the public domain, and you can see there's been an attempt to try to dismiss what has been said, is a matter of poisoning. Can that also be ruled out?
Yeah, food poisoning is common in our system. But the way they explain this food poisoning, as I told you, I'm not a forensic specialist. You and I, like Bawumia said, were not there that day in the Mariam Hotel. It was never made public. Why they kept it secret is up to them. If today they are revealing it, it's up to the forensic audit to take place, the CID to take over, come to Mariam Hotel and do their investigations, and let's see what will come out of this. In politics, anything can happen. People are chasing for positions. People are competing for positions, and people do harm to people. It is in the history. What is his name? Peter Liman succeeded this man. What is his name? He became president of Ghana. He was poisoned. How Yakubu confessed he was poisoned. So it is not something new in politics. So, but I would say no one can just suddenly die of myeloma when we know he was walking about with what the woman has told us. No one can suddenly die of multiple myeloma. But this suspicion and this accusation, those who are working with them can confess it and then present themselves to the security agencies to do the investigation. It can be ruled out because we are in politics and people do whatever it takes to get power. 8 people, remember, 8 people were killed for people to become president. It's very easy. So I don't think people cannot do it. Even me, a mere doctor working, sometimes we are careful. We are even careful of our lives. Small politicians, we are careful of our lives. So we can't rule it out until a forensic audit is done and the people are unable to justify their reason of making that allegation. It's proving that what they said was a lie, but it can't be ruled out because in politics everything is possible.
So your proposal, because this is already in the public domain, is a discussion, and for people, you are also listening as a physician and a practitioner in the space for so many years, that this needs to be, you said the forensic examination needs to be done. Would you like the details to be made public so that everybody would at least, the matter will be settled publicly?
Sure, this is a case that somebody has alleged that this person died of poisoning. This should have called for the security agencies to swiftly take over the matter because it's murder, it's criminal, and it is the Attorney General who has the power to prosecute sectors. So it's up to the Attorney General and the security agencies to take up the investigation, find the evidence or not, and come out to tell us that, yes, we found evidence or we didn't find evidence. So it's now up to the government to take over the case because the accusation has been made. Even those whose relatives haven't complained of their relatives being killed, the president has been petitioned. It is those whose relatives have died and they haven't got any problem about his death. The president has been petitioned and he has said he's going to work towards it. This is one that people have said the person has been killed. So it is up to the president to play the same role. If they need the ambassador for the autopsies and the investigations, that specialist in that is there. Foku is there. They can hire him for that. So they take the case up seriously. You see, the double standards in this country must stop. And then let's work as professionals. If it is that somebody has come out to allege something on the national television that somebody was killed, I don't see why investigation has not started. Unless the high authority is complicit.
Well, Doc, thank you. I know I have to let you go now. But did you just suggest, which Koku did you say was ambassador for forensic investigations?
I think you remember not long ago, somebody led a team to go and ask for our Sumje Hini's autopsy report. And it's very, very, very powerful in social media requesting that Atamil's autopsy report should be made public. Then such a person is there. We know Koku Anyidohu, who leads people to the presidency for forensic or reports or autopsy reports to be released, can help in this because there's an accuser. In Atamil's case, there's no accuser. He, the one who was always with Atamil, who should be a suspect, is rather the one acting for his autopsy report. That's why I'm saying that gentleman should be called to help these people because he's a professional in acting for an autopsy report. Then they can do the autopsy report and do the forensic research on this case. And let's see.
No.
So it's Koku Ayido who I'm referring to.
Doc, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
It's a pleasure.
Dr. Thomas Anaba is a physician, a medical practitioner. In fact, we started even talking about Doomsaw before. He said Koku is ambassador for forensic investigations.
Oh yeah, say only there enya as my doctor can send you some for.
That he is ambassador for forensic investigations.
To we no obetimi kra fa de ato ne ho so. I know what this adwuma no.
Oh, okay.
Or the report to Anaba.
So start